release of AG Perarivalan, who will now walk free as a free man now. Remember that he's also accused of buying 9-volt batteries for LTE's Sivarasan, who was a mastermind behind the PM's assassination. And these batteries were also bought by him. That time he was just 19 years old. Perarivalan was just 19 years old, which was used to bomb and assassinate Rajiv Gandhi. I would like to go to Ananya. Ananya, this is the big verdict coming in. After around 31 years in jail, Rajiv Gandhi's killer will be walking free.
Well, yes, clearly it is a very important verdict coming in from the bench of Justice L. Nageshwar Rao, clearly saying that AG Perarivalan has to be released, and the basis of his release is basically that the state cabinet's decision was to release him and the governor was sitting on it. But the Supreme Court has made it very clear that the state cabinet's decision is binding on the governor of the state, and there is no question that he can delay the proceedings in this case. Clearly, a very big verdict coming in after 31 years. AG Perarivalan would be walking out free. He had approached the court for remission. He had said that his life term has already been completed into this case and he should be released. The state cabinet had also said that it is a fit case for the release of the convict, but the governor had held the decision in his hand and had not passed an order with regards to the same. But today, the bench of Justice L. Nageshwar Rao made it very clear that he would be released today. And in fact, the state cabinet's decision, in fact, is binding on the governor, and he will have to be released as soon as possible. Studios.
Ananya, what about the other 6 other convicts in the case? What is the verdict on them? Is it out yet?
Well, this was only concerning Mr. Perarivalan, so we are not sure as to what is the procedure for the other convicts. But clearly, here for Mr. Perarivalan, he can walk out very freely outside the jail after 31 years of sentence, after 31 years of life sentence. In fact, remember, he was just 19 years old when he had committed the crime. He had bought some batteries for the LTTE for the mastermind of this whole assassination plot of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi. And now, after 31 years suffering in the jail and in fact serving a life sentence in the jail, he is walking out. He will be walking out freely. The court clearly saying, a bench headed by Justice L. Nageshwar Rao, clearly saying that the state cabinet's decision is binding on the governor, and he will now walk free out of the jail after 31 years of jail term. After he was convicted when he was 19 years old, he was arrested for being into the plot for assassinating Rajiv Gandhi, wherein remember that he had bought some batteries for the mastermind, and he was a part and parcel of the whole conspiracy wherein Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was assassinated. And now today, after 31
years, the Supreme Court granting him a massive kind of a relief, granting him a release into this whole case. Clearly are saying that the 161 proceedings cannot be delayed much. 161 proceedings basically are when a convict approaches the state cabinet, approaches the state government seeking a release. The state cabinet sees the case, sees whether the convict can be released or not, and then gives out a decision. Remember that the state cabinet had already given out its decision saying that he should be released. It's a fit case for release, but the governor had put a hold onto the same, saying that he will have to pass the orders. There were a conflict between whether the mercy plea would be heard by the president or not heard by the president. But now, very clear orders from the topmost court of the country clearly saying that AG Perarivalan, the one of the masterminds in the whole Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, would be walking out freely. And after 31 years, clearly saying, the bench clearly saying that the state cabinet's decision is binding on the governor, and the governor cannot hold the 161 proceedings for such a long time, and hence clearly directing for the release of AG Perarivalan. Studios.
Right, Ananya. Now, Ananya, this case has been developing for a long time, Ananya. And also, we are seeing that there was a lot of to and fro between the centre and also the centre had said that it had drawn flack from the court over its argument that in cases of grant of mercy, only the president would have exclusive powers. So this case has seen a lot of ups and downs, and it took 31 years for this pardon case to come in. So can you tell a little bit more about the pardon case and what exactly under Article 142 of the Constitution? In fact, I would like to take that question to Apurva, who's joining me as well. Ananya, I'll come back to you. Apurva, now this has happened under the Article 142 of the Constitution. So we are seeing a lot of to and fro happening earlier when the centre had drawn flack from the court over its argument that in the cases of grant of mercy, only the president would have exclusive powers. So we are seeing that this case for the past 31 years took a lot of turns and U-turns, and finally we are seeing the big verdict come in.
Well, definitely it is an joyous day there, not only for Perarivalan but also Arputamal. Remember his mother, who has been continuously toiling for the last 31 years ever since her son Perarivalan had been convicted in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. In fact, Arputamal continuously had been seeking the governor's assent, continuously had been speaking to the government, her lawyers there working to ensure that Perarivalan, the 7 others who had been convicted in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case, be released as well. And now 31 years later, Perarivalan now walks a free man. Definitely there celebrations that are also likely to go on in a grand scale there at Perarivalan's family home in Tirupattur right now. Arputamal, who is Perarivalan's mother there, who will be also joyously rejoicing. Remember, just a couple of weeks back, he had been let out on bail there, and even his welcome back the last couple of weeks has been completely a grand celebration there. Arputamal, who had also joyously welcomed her son, now with the Supreme Court that has granted the release of Perarivalan, it will only be a short time before we do see the other convicts, including Nalini there.
All right, Apurva over there reporting on the Supreme Court's verdict, which has now ordered the release of AG Perarivalan, one of the convicts of the Rajiv Gandhi assassination.